The Australian story, no matter the chapter, is an adventure story. Ancient, action-packed, precious and proud. This week, I'll explore the wild blue face of New South Wales, Port Stephens, driving its unspoilt coastlines and encountering its unforgettable nature. Ours is a country of open roads and experiences wild and new. An adventure story that's yours for the making. Imagine a beautiful place where rainforests meet golden sands and stoic sentinels safeguard the coastline. A paradise nearly lost to the ravages of man, and today is a sanctuary to recharge life's vital forces, a place to get in touch with life itself. More than 85% of Australians live within 50 kilometres of the beach. It's our playground, it's our front yard, it's quite often our livelihood. It's where we come to take a chance, to begin a romance, to do the blistered foot hot sand dance. And I know there'll be some of you saying, not me, mate, I'm from the country, but you too have had surf and turf down at the pub, you've had Friday night fish and chips. The great Australian coastline is perhaps the greatest common thread that we share. This is Seal Rocks, a tiny coastal hamlet barely 3 hours north of Sydney, and the beginning of a short sojourn south through the beautiful Myall Lakes National Park to Port Stephens. The one-shop town is truly a slow down and breathe panacea to our ever-accelerating lives. The local caravan park has long been a staple of the holiday by the coast, and Seal Rock's Treachery Camp is a one-in-a-million waterfront address for the campervan set. As an island nation, we're surrounded by fierce oceans, and watching over our coastline are a string of guardians, the lighthouses of Australia. Sugarloaf Point is our second most easterly landmark after Cape Byron. The light, manned continuously from 1875 until December 1987, is completely automated now, but I was lucky enough to cross paths with one of the last keepers of the light, Peter Bailey. What was your daily routine like here?
You had to get up for the light so that she was off just at sunrise.
So you'd physically turn the light off?
In those days, yes. You had to take the light off and put the curtains up so that the sun can't concentrate on the lenses.
Did you enjoy your time here?
This was my wife's favourite station. It's quiet, more isolated than most.
Yeah.
And when you look at this, who wouldn't want to be here?
Today, the keepers are gone, but the cottages still stand, and anyone can live the life of a lighthouse keeper for a holiday stay. But beware the sea. The next beach over isn't named Treachery without reason. A series of shipwreck incidents along this coast prompted the light to be built. It was completed in 1875. Since then, though, 20 further ships have gone down, including the SS Catterton. In 1895, it was plying its trade between Sydney and Hong Kong, delivering gold coins. It hit the rocks just off here and went straight to the bottom. 55 people were drowned. Divers have been down to salvage what they could of the wreck. Strangely, though, only 7,000 of the 8,000 gold coins said to have been on board have been recovered. Perhaps you know a wealthy diver. This is Warramai land, Great Lakes country. Wallace, Smiths and Myall Lakes stretch out between Foster in the north and Port Stephens to the south, my ultimate destination. There's something gloriously strange about this coast, the great sense of isolation kind of feeds on itself and urges you to seek more. You're inspired by the quiet and the still and the lack of distraction, and you want to find a completely deserted beach, a deeper, thicker clump of forest and a track less travelled. Sand mining nearly claimed this area from the late 50s into the early 1970s. Public protests stopped the mining. The road is now closed to vehicles, but I'm privileged to be driving it today with National Parks Ranger Rachel Kemper. But you can come in here on your bike?
Yes. So this
What,
is...
motorbike?
No, a push bike.
Push bike,
Yeah, so this is part of our recreational use of the park. You can use this mining road, it's called.
Yep.
So one of the things we have here is the recreational values of the park. A lot of fishing, surfing, beach driving, canoeing, boating, camping.
Rachel's taking me to a remote area of the park normally accessed only by boat. Which lake is this?
So this is Mile Lake. We have 3 lakes in the Mile Lakes National Park in the system. So this is the top lake. So it's got the most amount of fresh water in it. As you can see, it's beautiful and clear.
Oh, it's insanely clear. It's impossibly beautiful, the whole thing. "10,000 hectares of lakes, 40 kilometres of beaches, wrapped in 48,000 hectares of forest, and just 3 hours from Australia's biggest city. Not bad. Not bad at all." Next, an encounter with one of Australia's most endangered marine species. From Seal Rocks to Mile Lake and now Tea Gardens, I'm exploring a short but very beautiful stretch of Australia's magnificent coastline, just 3 hours north of Sydney. What I haven't done yet is journey into the very environment that shapes this region. The cobalt blue waters of the Tasman Sea, our vast corner of the mighty Pacific Ocean. And about 50 minutes by boat is one of Port Stephens' most pristine escapes, Broughton Island. Home to a clutch of fishermen's cabins and my camp for the night. Camping's permitted at Little Poverty Beach, but limited to just 30 people in total on 3 raised camping decks that need to be booked and prepaid before leaving the mainland. Broughton is within the Mile Lakes National Park, and at 114 hectares, it feels like a very large and truly untouched slice of coastal paradise, especially if you are into water sports and wildlife, or a combination of the two. Back when I was of a more impressionable age, there was a movie released which changed the way we all thought about swimming in the ocean. The movie was Jaws, and ever since then the notion of taking a dip has had a somewhat more thrilling edge added to it. So today, as we head out to sea for a dive, I'm particularly mindful of the fact that out there, I'm no longer head of the food chain. About a 15-minute cruise north of Broughton Island is North Rock, home to a colony of endangered grey nurse sharks. Diving with me today is dive master, marine conservationist and citizen scientist Jimmy Dodd, who takes it upon himself to record every dive on his stills camera and submit his photos to a national database called Grey Nurse Watch for help with shark identification and conservation work.
I took a photo of one in a survey here in August last year and sent them off to a mob called Grey Nurse Shark Watch. And they had actually identified that shark from 2008 at Seal Rocks. They do migrate, so they'll go, maybe from here down to Bateman's Bay, down to Tollgate Islands, and they have been found up past Fraser Island.
I have dived with sharks before, but I'm not entirely relaxed about this dive. I'm not really sure what to expect. Beneath the surface, huge curtains of shimmering baitfish move in a slow-motion ebb and flow. At depths of only 5 to 10 metres, this is an easy dive. And then, out of the cloud, we see our first grey nurse. There are estimated to be only 1,500 of these graceful creatures left in the wild, thanks to decades of illegal fishing. And while they may all look the same to the untrained eye, to Jim and his camera, they're all individuals, identified by the pattern of spots on their flanks, in the same way that fingerprints are with humans. So, if Jim and his fellow citizen scientists diving up and down the east coast take sufficient images, then migration patterns can be identified by the Grey Nurse Watch charity. That was absolutely unbelievable. Just sitting down there must be, I don't know, 15 grey nurses just cruising around. It was incredible. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And while my trepidation is in the past, the future and survival of sharks and other endangered species is passing into the hands of a new generation. Like my fellow shark diver, Courtney Rays, finishing her Masters in Biological Science with a passion for the sea. Have you experienced anything quite like that before?
No, that was very exciting. I loved it. Yeah, really nice sharks.
Nice
Very,
sharks.
they're very calm and yeah, reserved compared to other sharks.
Coming up, Port Stephens' irresistible dolphins come out to play by the hundreds. To kick off Australian Geographic Adventures premiere series, we are going to be giving away the ultimate adventure kit that we hope will inspire you to get out and explore this amazing country of ours. To win this majestic 2015 Sierra Off-Road Extreme, complete with rugged 15-inch wheels, Simplicity suspension, air conditioning, gas-heated hot water system, rear ensuite, and a K-Mech top-load washer, and this Stabycraft 1650 Fisher with Mercury outboard, Lowrance electronics and Trans-style trailer, just text your full name and details to 1995 2010 to be in the running. Or go and grab your computer and log on to our website agadventures.com.au and use this code word to enter. The comp closes on September the 30th, 2015. If you have any questions, all terms and conditions can be found on this website. So, get busy. This morning, I'm bathing with dolphins. Apparently, I should get excited. I don't know what's more weird, the pot of dolphins or the dolphin cult. People really do react to dolphins in odd ways. Out here, it may seem weird, but it actually piques the curiosity of these superb marine mammals, allowing a unique and extremely up-close encounter. How many dolphins do you think we've got here?
We've got about 3 distinct pods, mate, and they're all around us, probably about 1,000 individuals.
Really? I mean, for about 300 metres that way and 300 metres that way, they are just everywhere, aren't they?
As far as the eye can see, and there's as many, it's almost like an iceberg.
Yeah.
You know, about 20% on the surface, and there's the rest of it underneath, so there's a lot of dolphins here.
We're in for an extraordinary day. This is definitely not just a dolphin watching cruise. No tea, scones and deck chairs here. Dolphin Swim Australia's unique experience is up close and personal. And yes, you'll be getting wet. And be prepared to get blown away.
On my call, 1, 2, 3, push out.
How was that?
That is like that is actually like being a part of the pod. There was a moment there where there were half a dozen dolphins, and you are literally that far behind them, feeling as if you are gliding with the pod. Absolutely unreal. Oh, I don't know how many times I can say this, but I've never experienced anything quite like it. Oh, fantastic. How good is that? That was so much more than just an experience. It really is an encounter. It's a dolphin-human interaction that I can't explain. Thankfully, there are experts on board who can. Was that unique behaviour that we just experienced there?
That's the behavior that we tend to see when we interact with the dolphins. So once we encounter them, they could be doing a number of various behaviors. What we tend to see is them traveling, which is what we saw. The dolphins will be porpoising out of the water. We do want to be very careful to make sure that they engage our vessel properly. We don't disturb any of the behaviors that they do, but they turned around, headed right for our vessel, and they were in to have a good time.
So you're telling me that they're actually having fun? They're engaging us to have fun?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Coming up, Port Stephens' sun-kissed Fingal Island.
G'day, I'm Justin Walker from Australian Geographic Outdoor Magazine. One of my favourite outdoor activities is going on a day walk. But the 4 things you need to make a day walk fun is good clothing, good boots, water and food, and a really good day pack. Now with a day pack you need to look at sizing, and size for me would be between 30 and 40 litres, and also look for a backpack that can carry a lot of water and food, so if you get stuck for some reason during your day walk, you're not going to run out of water or food. Next, your footwear. Now footwear for a day walk will all come down to the terrain you're going to walk in. Myself, I prefer a heavy duty leather boot no matter what terrain I'm walking in. Your foot is well protected, your ankle is well supported by the high lace and the high cut boot, which I thoroughly recommend a high cut boot. And the grip on the sole of the boot is fine for all sorts of terrain. So next is having an effective hydration system. I use a combination of a bladder, like this Camelback, and a separate water bottle. The reason being, if one of these systems fails, I've still got water in my day pack. Lastly, and most importantly, is clothing. On a day hike, it doesn't matter whether it's summer and really hot, you should always take extra clothes for potential condition changes. And that's it, the 4 things with such a big difference between being dry, enjoying your walk, being wet and miserable, being laughed at by your mates who all come prepared whereas you haven't.
I've travelled by road from Seal Rocks, a lighthouse guiding my way. I've swum in pristine lakes and dived with sharks to confront my fears. The Myall Lakes National Park has so much to offer. And now, the last leg. Fingal Island, joined to the mainland by a tenuous but treacherous spit of sand. Although that's the mainland just there, this is only accessible by boat.
It is these days. This is Fingal Island and it is an island. So this spit that's just behind us here, it was sometimes permanent, sometimes not, depending on the year, the season, the currents.
It was Captain James Cook who made the European discovery of Port Stephens in 1770, but it would be nearly another 100 years before the entrance was formally marked with the erection of the Fingal Light. Were there people living on this island?
This island, over the years there have been. The Warramai, of course, this is their land. But after that, the lighthouse keepers, of course, came in.
There was a shell grit industry. Was that on the island or was that over on the bay?
It was mainly on the island.
Right.
There were a few leases. One very famous gentleman called Arthur Murdoch who's written a book about his life here.
I read about him.
Yeah.
He used to mine it by hand.
By hand, and shovel. 3 tonne a day.
Yeah. And I also heard that he wasn't always fully clothed.
Apparently, if he knew that the lighthouse keepers' women were not in the vicinity, he would mine naked.
Right.
Yes, yes.
He was a naturalist.
He was a
A
naturalist.
nudist.
One of the first.
I think we all have shared experiences of our time at the beach, the taut skin of a sun-smooched nose, that bracing moment where the manhood inevitably greets the cold ocean surface, and the trace of sand hidden deep in a fold found only once the bathers are removed. But as we've discovered, there's so much more. The Indigenous history, the European history, the shipwreck history, what lies beneath the ocean and what lies beneath our feet.
If any of our adventures have got you itching to break free, Brits Campervans are your adventure go-to crew. My journey to Port Stephens this week uncovered some fantastic accommodation for the crew and me. The Shoal Bay Holiday Park has powered campsites from $34 and cabins from $99. The Karua Jetty Holiday Park has sites from $28, cabins from $99. The Fingal Bay Holiday Park has powered sites from $34 and cabins from $99. The Port Stephens Treescape has sites from $25 and studio rooms from $75. For this information and more about this week's Australian Geographic Adventures, log on to agadventures.com.au. Next week, we'll set the controls for Queensland's wild far north as I journey from the high ancient canopies of the Daintree rainforest to the mysterious volcanic depths of the Undara lava tubes.
But at some point, this surely has to fall down.